It just happened. There are assets running up to new all-time highs. Ethereum is within 0.5% of all-time highs. Bitcoin racing up to $117,000. We have Google stock hitting new all-time highs. The NASDAQ up 2%. So what is happening right now? I want to cover this. The Fed just changed a massive talking point, something they've been firm on for 3 years now. They've been strict about this one thing and saying that they will not change it. And they just said that they're going to change it. This is going to make it much more attractive to buy something like Bitcoin, to buy hard assets. So we'll have to go through that. Also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but obviously we're in a bull run. We're 1/3 of the way to the next halving event for Bitcoin, which is just crazy to think about. We'll be going through how much inflation there will be after this next halving. And Trump just said some people are stupid for doing this in the markets. We'll be going through all this along with Trump's big news that he came out with at noon Eastern time here today. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. In the Telegram underneath the video, it's completely free. You can join it. I just post videos early there. And I will be posting an exclusive video today just there explaining what I'm buying today. Also, I do apologize. In my last video, I mentioned that I was going to put some trading videos on the end screen and I forgot to do that. So I'm going to do that now. Right now, we're racing up and like Ethereum's at all-time highs. I made a video pretty recently talking about 3 different trading strategies, whether we're at all-time highs, small pullbacks, or the dream scenario, which hint, the dream scenario just happened. I bought on the dream scenario. I was talking about it. I'll put this on the end screen along with my day trading guide, which is really more of a swing trading guide. I tell people not to day trade, but I'll put both of those on the end screen and I'll make sure to do it this time. Now, like I said, Ethereum very close to all-time highs. We went up to 4,848, which is within $23 of all-time highs. $23. Bitcoin moving up today too. You can see it's breaking out above this trend line. All right, this was the, let me zoom out so you can see it a little bit better. This is the down descending channel that we're in. Looks like we're breaking out above it, which is very bullish, right? So if you do want to start trading, there's a link to BYDeFi. There's over $20,000 in prizes that will be distributed to traders in about 2.5 weeks. So you can check this out underneath the video and it's completely free. Obviously, you can start trading using leverage and getting outsized returns. We opened up this ETH long just a few days ago, talked about on the channel, up 76%. So yeah, you can do that too. Now, like I said, assets are running, right? The NASDAQ's up 2%. Google just hit all-time highs, over $208. Now, some good news on Google. It looks like Apple apparently is exploring licensing Google's Gemini AI engine to power a revamped Siri. I think that would be a good idea because Siri is basically worthless. Same thing with Alexa. Can't say her name because she's right over here. But these are in everyone's phones, in everyone's hands. So obviously, like this could be pretty powerful for Apple, but they can't get AI right apparently. But this is also making Google go up today. It's up 4%. This is actually this is my second largest individual stock holding. So pretty happy about that. But the major rally today is coming down to this, Powell changing his stance, the Fed changing their stance. And we covered this earlier today, so I won't spend too much time on it. But they're saying that they can see the effects from tariffs on consumer prices, and they're shifting the balance of risks, meaning that it may mean that they have to adjust policy, meaning they are going to cut rates most likely at the next meeting. This is increase the odds from 74% to 90% that they're going to have a September rate cut. Why is this bullish? I guess I didn't really cover it. In case you don't understand, well, rate cuts mean a lower cost of capital. It also means that there's a lower risk-free rate of return. So if all this money is getting a 4% savings rate or 4.5% in treasury bonds, if it goes down by 0.25%, people want a better return. So they might shift part of their portfolio to risk on assets like the stock market or like crypto. One thing that I didn't cover this morning this is probably one of the biggest points. Powell says the Fed is moving away from their strict 2% framework, 2% inflation framework. The exact wording, Powell said the Fed has adopted a new framework that removes a reference to the central bank seeking inflation that averages 2% over time, and one to it making decisions on employment based on shortfalls from its maximum level. So basically, we don't need inflation at 2%. And also, this means that they are not focusing on shortfalls, meaning that they'll aim to boost employment when it's too low, but won't tighten just because employment gets very low. So they might, try to predict inflation coming because there are too many jobs and try to, tighten up policy, but now they're not going to do that. So inflation is going to be allowed to run hot. For the longest time, they said, we will not go away from this 2% inflation level. Now they're saying, maybe it'll be a little bit higher, right? Maybe we'll keep it at 2.5% or 3%, which is basically where it's at now. They can't seem to get it much lower, so the risks are more to the labor market. They'll start cutting now. So this has people very excited. Props to you if you bought the dip. We bought the dip. I talked about it a lot on the channel, saying that this was one of the best times to buy because you get much better returns if you're buying on a dip, and nothing fundamentally has changed. Also, big props to Tom Lee. He did this too. Just a few days ago, he said he's having conversations with institutional investors saying that they plan on Powell leaning hawkish. And he said this actually makes it so that he will probably sound dovish because this is the base case. So even if he's just kind of neutral, it'll seem dovish. And he put his money where his mouth is. His company, BitMine, bought 52,475 Ethereum worth $220 million just 2 days ago, that same day that he was talking about this. And yeah, they're doing well today. That Ethereum is worth 20% more. BMNR is also up 13% on the day. So yeah, congrats to everyone that's in that. That's been a very good holding recently. Interesting to look at this too. The halving progress, we're at 34%. So we are over 1/3 of the way to the next Bitcoin halving. That's kind of crazy. Right now, the inflation rate is about 0.83%. And that's going to go down to 0.41%, which that's barely any inflation. You look at the US dollar, right? We're at 2.5% to 3% inflation. That's 3 times where we're at right now for Bitcoin. And this will actually go down over time. You can tell exactly what it's going to be at year after year. By 2060, we're going to have less than 1 new Bitcoin every single day from all the miners in the world. So yeah, just wanted to remind you of that it's just becoming more scarce out there. Canada is going to remove retaliatory tariffs on many U.S. products, according to Bloomberg. That's good news too. This was kind of overshadowed by what was happening with the Fed this morning. Trump talked earlier today. He said, only stupid people are shorting the markets because they hate America. Low IQ people short the market. I've been saying this for a long time that I don't like to short, especially crypto or just the markets in general. I don't really like to short. I've done it just a couple times, key opportune times, like when a crypto is collapsing. I've been able to short well there, but I don't like shorting because you're betting against the best performing assets in the world, right? These constantly go up because there's money being printed all the time. I kind of liken it to you're on this endless treadmill, right? And it goes up, but every once in a while it stops. So it's probably better to keep riding the treadmill rather than try to fight against it and try to walk the wrong way. So that is, it's interesting, right? that he says this. I don't want to say that people that short the market are low IQ, but I think it's a losing bet most of the time. It's much better to long the market than to short the market in most instances. From the Oval Office, this was Trump's big announcement today. He said the FIFA World Cup will be, the drawing will take place on December 5 at the Kennedy Center. But the FIFA World Cup is coming to the U.S., apparently, which honestly, probably good news for the U.S. Probably lots of money in that. So, yeah, that's good. It's not anything related directly to the market, but still, yeah, I guess good news there. let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Bitcoin breaking out, taking maybe a little bit of Ethereum's gusto away for a second, but looks like we're just consolidating here, maybe flipping this prior resistance into support and then making another move. Ethereum is so bullish. This is a very short time span, by the way. I'm not saying that, you know, Ethereum slowing down in a big way. It's natural after moving 15% to slow down just for a second, for, you know, a couple hours or even a few days, right? We're moving up. We're very close to all-time highs. It's very bullish. I'm very long the market. I have all my spot bags, and I'm very exposed even in long positions. So let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. I'm quite bullish here. Of course, we could always see a pullback. You know, Ethereum near all-time highs, saw a rejection last time. Bitcoin trying to break out. It's moved above this trend line, but obviously there are some resistances that we'll have to pay attention to. And obviously a lot of the market's going long right now, so we could always see some short liquidations the other way. But I am very bullish long term. The majority of my bags are spot, and then I have extra money that I go a little bit more risk on with, you know, a fraction of the portfolio in long positions. So, of course, do your own due diligence, but everything's looking really good for the markets right now. I want to hear your thoughts underneath the video. What are you buying today? What are you selling? What are you doing? Let me know. I will be putting a video in the Telegram, which is completely free, explaining what I'm buying today, and I'll put those 2 videos on the end screen that explain trading. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.